Okay. Hello. Just in case there's another earthquake, if another earthquake comes, just get out of the room. Okay? So I'm going to make today's lecture shorter. I don't want to get another earthquake in the classroom. So let me tell you what I'm going to cover today, and let's have some trials, and then we can finish early. So there is something called try except. So what does try and except do? Because sometimes when you write a program, it may generate some kind of error. In the past, if we make some error, the program stops. But if you have try except, then Python will try the code for you, and if there's an error, then it will help you to see what's going on. Okay? So let's just directly go to an example. So this one, there are many kinds of error. Let me see. Okay. So here are many different kinds of errors. So when you have try except, when one kind of error happens, you can assign your code to do something. Okay. Let's use this example. And see what's gonna happen in Python. So if you say, just try. And because we cannot use input in this version of the Python, there will be an error. Then you can, okay, for example, you assign a variable x equals to 1, okay? And then you say try y equals to, let me quickly check. Give me a second. If I say so, you see, you cannot add 1 to a string of A because they are not, A is not a number. So if I say y equals to x plus 1, and I say print y here. If I do this, over here I'm going to say except, and I'm going to pick up one kind of error. It's called a value error. Okay, value error. And then I'm going to say print. I'm gonna just say not printable, okay? If I do this and I run the code, this time no error because my x is a number, so it's able to compute, it's able to evaluate what I wrote here. But if I change this to a string, if I do this and run the code, hold on. This is type error. Let me change this type error. Okay? So do it again. So if I use a variable a, which is a string, and I try this code, and it won't work because string a cannot plus 1. So there will be an error when Python runs this line. And I tried earlier, it was the type error. So it doesn't allow me to combine different types of variables. If you do not use except, then it will show you the default message. But I created a new message, which is a print not printable. So when I run this code, this line will be show up. Okay? Let's see what will happen if this try and except finishes. If I do something outside of this, if I say z equals to 1, print z. Let's see what's gonna happen. Okay? So you can, from here you can tell Python goes from the first line to the last one. Over here, it completed the try except loop. So it's gonna try what you wrote under inside this try column, and over here, if there's an error, by default, Python has messages for any kinds of error. But if you want to give away specific message or do something inside this type of error, you can. Okay? Let me show you another thing. If I do, for example, a equals to 2, and say print a. If I do this, let's see what's gonna happen. Is Python going to do everything inside this except? Yes. Okay? Now if I change this back to 3, in that case, this is 3, so this math right here is correct, so print 4 correctly. Then it doesn't go into the type error because there's no error. Then it jumps out to 9, the line of 9, and continue to do what's outside. Okay? So this is try except. Try except. So you can have multiple kinds of except. And like I said, there are these many kinds of errors. Okay? Name, index, type, syntax, value, and so on. Okay? There are many types of error. Let's try this divided by 0. 0 division error. Let's try this. So if I say b equals to y divided by 0, and I want to print b. So I'm gonna say except, and what's the name of it? 0 division error. Okay, 0 division error. Okay. Here I'm gonna say print. Do not divide by 0. Okay? So let's try this. So from here you can see when the line goes to here, okay, no problem. This line probably fine, but in line 4, it directly goes to the 0 division error and then print out this line. And then do the line 13 and 14. How about if I move this to here, if I move line 4 up, does this line performs? Yes, it does. So over here, 3, y equals to 4. Okay, print out 4. So 4 was printed. Then goes to this line, b equals to y divided by 0. Then it goes to line 11 because there's a 0 division error. And then this line was printed. Okay, you need to understand how Python works. So, that's how you can, as a programmer, sometimes you want to build your own program, build your own function. So there could be situations when the user use your function and deliver some kind of error. Sometimes you want to provide a user some message. So try except is the way to show the message. Okay? So let me see what else we want to do. Okay. So there's a kind of error called the assertion error. Okay, this kind assertion error. So this runs like this. You need to write it in this way. When there's a false, then you will print out some message behind it. Okay, so it's so-called the assertion error. Let's try this one. Okay. So if I over here, I can directly say right here, if y is larger than 5, then assert false and give some message behind it. Then you can say too large, something like this. Okay? So if I do this, nothing happened yet because the number is 4. If I change this to 4, then you will see too large. Okay? But this is not over here, there is no real mistake. Okay, so you generate the mistake. You define the mistake. When you have some number, some rules, you don't allow this to happen. Then you can say, okay, if this is happening, then you can give away error message like this. So in this way, you basically can choose your own condition for mistake. So when this is happening, you can see nothing else continues. It just stops. Okay? So earlier, no mistake. Earlier, there is no mistake. So it will perform 4. And then because of the divided by 0, it jumps out to here, and then this message shows up, and complete the rest. But for this assertion error, when I change x to 4, because at the end, this condition satisfied, so it will perform this line, and this line shows up like this, completely stop the code. Okay? Let's get back to the slide. So that's how you use assertion error. Okay. So there's something called raise. Okay. If you raise inside try and except, let's see what will happen. So this time I'm gonna say else if y is smaller than 4, something like this, then I will raise. Okay. So now I change the back to 3. Let's see what's gonna happen. So when you say do I need to do I need to do some, I can do except right here. So there is a except that you can do. Over here, when you have except, basically all kinds of error, it will print out this. So over here you can say some error, okay? Something like this. So if I run it again, you can see it directly jumps to here because there are some error, okay? If I change it to 4, let's see. So earlier I didn't create this line, so there's no, the code cannot continue. Hold on, let me see. Should I? I thought it's going to. Wait, let me try this. Except. Okay. Let's try this. Okay. And how about 3? 3, okay, some error. So if you assign proper error message, it will continue the code. Okay, so earlier I didn't assign what Python will do for assertion error, so it just stopped. But now I tell Python when assertion error happens, you can do this, then it will continue to finish. So over here, when the value is y is larger than 5, you will see this assertion error. Okay, and if I change to 3, then it will. So over here, it doesn't say too large. Interrupt the loop with assert false and print the string. But it didn't print. If I do this, I think it will print. How about this? Then this will print. Okay, so when you say assert false and too large, and you don't have except assertion error or except, it will just stop. The loop will be interrupt, and then the message will be this message that you use here will be shown right here. But if you do this, because you have an except, so no matter what kind of error, this line will be, it will go to this line. So the message cannot be seen. Over here you can see some error. And if you use this, if you specify what Python should do when you have assertion error, then this line will not be printed, this will not be printed, only this line will be printed. So let me show you here. Because it satisfies this, so it's a kind of error, but it's assertion error, so it will perform this line, and then continue. Okay? So that's... and also there is something called else and final. Okay? So when does else happen? And when does finally? What does finally? So else is like let's try else. And say print. Just say else, okay? And let's say finally. and here, just say the end. Okay. Let's see what's gonna happen. So finally it always goes to finally. Okay, if you have this try except loop, and finally will be it always goes to a finally. Let me try number of 3. Okay. This one goes to, yeah, it always goes to the finally, so I see the end. Even it stops at some kind of error. So right now you see some error because I have this raise. It interrupts and then directly goes to some kind of error here. So when does else happen? When does else happen? If there's no error, so I need to let me comment on those. So there's no error. Just generate some kind of situation, there's no error. In that case, now you see, here, I just hide some of the lines, so you won't have error. So the try part is finished. You see the 4 here. So when there's no error, it will jump to else. So the else part will be wrong. Try this. If there's no error, then do the else. Finally, you always do finally. Okay? But how about I open up these 2 lines? Then you will have error, right? In this case, because of the divide by 0 error, it goes to this part. So it doesn't go to else, it will go to finally. You only go to else when there's no error. Okay? So there are many things that you can try. So here's a very complete version of all the things that you can do. Okay. Okay. Okay, so last time we already did define, right? So I already covered everything for today. Do you want to leave? Yeah. So watch the practice at home, okay? No homework. There's a midterm next week, okay? Practice. So in my midterm, I always like to ask the student to solve a math problem. Okay, show them my previous midterm. Okay, practice the midterm example. If you don't understand how to, show them my midterm example and show them the solution. So practice those. I really enjoy solving math problems by programming codes. So I sometimes will ask you to do something like that. So in the exam, there will be selection problems, 选择题. So there is a part of selection problems. So you just need to pick up the right one. And there will be an exercise part. Usually I ask you to do something related to math. Okay? So in the midterm example, you will see how I usually give away the exam. So for the selection part, just show them some problems. Don't show them everything. Okay, that's it. Okay? If you have questions, you need to let the TA know. That's it. See you next time. Bye bye.